I'm Hillary Zala. Thanks for joining us for 10 News Midday. We're starting off with a really difficult but important story that shows the terrible consequence of drunk driving. We've learned that a former police officer is now facing DUI charges after hitting 5 students who were getting off their school bus in Polk County. This happened yesterday afternoon around 5 o'clock right here on Allegheny Road in Point Siena near Lake Marion. The kids were between the ages of 12 and 15, and all of them go to Dundee Ridge Middle Academy. So 3 students were treated, they're going to be fine, but 2 13-year-old boys are suffering serious life-threatening injuries. That includes spinal injuries, facial fractures, and head trauma. Sadly, doctors don't expect one of them to survive. The man behind the wheel was John Camfield right here. He spent years as a Mississippi police officer, but now lives in Davenport. Police say he had a known drinking problem and was drunk at the time of the crash. They also say he later hit a stopped car on Point Siena Parkway while trying to run away. There was a woman inside who was 4 months pregnant. She was also hurt. Police say an off-duty Polk County deputy who lives in the area arrested Camfield when his daughter got off the same bus and called for help.
I assumed the worst. I got out of my bed and I ran towards my daughter, not knowing what was going on. She, as soon as I get closer to her, I notice that she's up and she's okay.
If the teen does not survive, Camfield's DUI charges will be upgraded. He is expected to appear before a judge in about an hour. We have learned that he is on suicide watch and is being separated from other inmates. You know, we'll stay on top of this story for you and bring you the latest online and on 10 News this evening. Another sad story, we now know who brutally killed a reality TV contestant, her husband, and her unborn child. It was the couple's contractor. He admitted to killing former Food Network star contestant Christy Codd and her husband Joseph Codd. The contractor, Robert Owens, claims he accidentally ran them over with his car when he was heavily medicated. But when he saw what he did, he got scared, dismembered their bodies, and burned them in a stove. He is now facing up to 74 years in prison. Man. All right, well, this video is being shared all over social media, and it's going to freak you out if you have ever used Uber. So, an apparent Uber driver loses her cool, pulls out a bottle of tequila, and refuses to let her customers out of the car. Yeah, so thousands of you have seen this video, but now we're asking, is it really real? You be the judge.
No. I'm not ghetto. You can get up out of here, bruh.
Tens of thousands of social media views and climbing. An unidentified man claims he and a lady friend are taking a ride through Atlanta with an alleged...
Okay, that is really scary. So Uber is still trying to figure out who the driver is and urging you to file a report if that ever happens to you. So what looks like a typical shopping trip turned out to be a big payday for a group in Winter Haven, and as much as you're going to wish this happened to you, it was all illegal, so think about that. For more than 20 minutes, this group of people kept lining up to buy small items at Walmart's self-checkout. Why, you might ask? Because there was a mistake in the machine and it kept giving $20 bills instead of $5 bills. These shoppers really cashed in, getting more than $1,000 in change for their small purchases. But police now need your help finding the people in that video. The House just voted to keep the federal government open through next week, but now it's up to the Senate. This tough decision comes just a day before President Trump's 100th day in office.
The government runs out of money at midnight, and lawmakers on Capitol Hill are scrambling to temporarily extend a short-term spending measure by another week to May the 5th. This gives Congress a little more time to debate legislation on a deal that would give $1 trillion to fund federal agencies through September.
Jobs and make sure it stays open.
Compromises were made after Democrats threatened a shutdown. The demand for funding the border wall was dropped, and an agreement was made to pay health care subsidies for low-income Americans.
If you thought Zika was a problem last summer, or maybe you think that it's just not a problem anymore, well, be careful, because experts say it will likely be worse in the next couple of months. Our partners at the Tampa Bay Times spoke with an infectious disease expert from USF, and she says, and these are her words, we are preparing for the worst case scenario. That's because we're learning the Zika virus can survive in mosquito eggs that lie dormant for months, even years. Yeah, that's a pretty scary thought. So we're already seeing some cases this year. Take a look. In 2016, there were more than 1,000 travel-related cases. According to the Florida Department of Health, we've already seen 33 similar cases as of yesterday. For locally transmitted diseases, there were nearly 300 last year. So far, just 2 this year. And then the source for another 300 cases were unknown. This year, for unknown cases, we've had about 7. But this is really where you need to watch out. Pregnant women who have tested positive for Zika in a lab. There were 46 last year. We already have 23 cases so far this year, and it's only, well, it's just about May. So this is especially dangerous because expectant mothers can pass the disease on to their babies. So you definitely want to see an expert if you are at all concerned. The donations keep pouring in for our Cereal for Summer program. It's really cool. You can still help out, and this morning we got a really great donation, a big one, from a soccer school over in Brandon. And there's something new at Clearwater's Blast Friday that you really need to know about, and you might want to bring your bike. This happened yesterday around 5 o'clock and right here on Allegheny Road in Point Siena near Lake Marion.